Hey, today I'm going to do a review of my ForceUSA MyBench version 2. Hey, this is Greg with Discovering Strength, a channel focused on all things garage gym. If you like what you see, consider subscribing below. All right, so I have the ForceUSA MyBench version 2. This is the bench that has the leg developer for leg extensions and leg curls, and it also comes with a preacher curl pad. All right, so I've now had this for a few weeks, and let's go through what I like and dislike about it. All right, so first and foremost, it's the versatility. I mean, I think the whole reason you would get this is to have the leg developer, to be able to do leg extensions and leg curls. And that's what I love about it. I think the preacher curl pad is nice. It's not something that I've had before in my gym, but I probably wouldn't buy this just for the preacher curl. The preacher curl pad is just a nice to have. I like that once you add the attachments on here and you make sure that it's tightened down here at the bottom, that it is all very solid. There's not much wiggle that happens as you are using the attachments. So you can see that, you know, there's a little bit of play just side to side, but for the most part going up and down, it is really solid, especially when you put some weight on this. It is pretty solid. All right, so I'll show you how you attach and detach the leg developer. Simply, you just pull the locking pin at the bottom, slide it out, and just like that, it pulls off. And I'll throw the preacher curl pad on there so you can see how that looks. Then you take that, same thing, just goes right in the post. And it will lock into position as well. All right, with the preacher curl pad, then of course, you've got it just like that. You've got this holder here. You can put your easy curl bar in. So there you can see with the bar holder there, you can put your preacher curl bar in place. Now another thing I do like about it, and as a frame of reference, this is compared to my Rep Fitness FB5000 bench, is that when you don't have any attachments on there, that it is pretty light and easy to move around. So I'll show you here. You know, pretty easy to move in and out of place, be able to store it up and out of the way. So you can see my Rep FB5000 bench right there, store it off to the side, and then it alongside that. And one of the issues, especially my wife has had with this Rep Fitness bench, is it weighs about 100 pounds. And so it is kind of difficult for her to maneuver this thing around, get it into place and use it. And the ForceUSA bench is much lighter. So it'd be much easier to get it where you want to use it. Then it's always nice that ForceUSA, they offer free shipping. All right, then one of my criticisms with this is that when comparing this to other FID benches or adjustable benches, the back itself, the back rest, lacks stability. You can see it will just wobble from side to side, and that's got quite a bit of play. You can kind of see it move around here at the bottom as you move side to side. And for the amount of money you're paying for this bench, one thing I would expect for there to be kind of some higher end finishing pieces. But what I've found with this is there are quite a few kind of cheap finishes. For example, the type of steel they're using here is generally thinner than the Rep Fitness bench that I've got. It feels cheaper. You can definitely see there on the sticker that it is indeed made in China. That's not really an issue for me, but I know a lot of others like to buy American made. A few other examples of cheap pieces. You look at these end cap pieces and they look like metal, they're plastic. So that's cheap. When I compare and contrast it to my Rep Fitness bench, I've got these nice metal end cap pieces. That's something that I would expect with how much I'm paying for it. Another thing is the upholstery. Now, I recently got the ForceUSA leg press hack squat machine. It's got the same upholstery as on their bench, and I'd say it's kind of in between really cheap and a nice quality upholstery. As a frame of reference, I've got another Rep Fitness bench here. This is the FB5000, and it's just got this nice kind of grippy upholstery on here that has really held up nicely over the years. Now, also, one thing that surprised me a little bit, which shouldn't have surprised me, is just how large a footprint this has. It's very bulky, especially once you add the attachments. It takes up a lot of space. It wouldn't save that much space, but I do find that the back pad here, I think it's a little too long. It extends maybe about, I don't know, 6 inches longer than I'd like it to extend. Because if it were a little bit shorter, you could also collapse this down and it'd be a little bit easier for storage, I think. And I think the number one reason people are going to buy this is for the leg developer. And the issue you will have with this, and you'll have the same issue with any other bench that uses weight plates here for your resistance. The issue is that with just weight plates on here, you're not going to have continuous resistance throughout your movement. So once you get to the top, basically there's no more resistance once the weight starts going this way. And it's going to be a little easier once you get to the top of your rep. Now, one thing that I'd like to see here would be some band pegs, potentially where this bolt is. Then what you could do is you could attach a band to add resistance. And I'll show you what I've done as a makeshift solution. So I've got, just a light band here, and I've been looping it around the bottom, around the weight horn, and then extending this way and wrapping it around the seat on both sides. I'll show you a close-up here of how I've got it rigged. So I've got the band that way, wraps around the seat. And by doing that, it does help. It gives me that resistance at the top of my rep. But it would be nice if, instead of having to wrap it around the seat like this, if they added band pegs right back here, you could just wrap it right around the band pegs. Now, for storage, I wish that there were some sort of locking mechanism so that when I sit it upright against the wall, I feel more comfortable it's not going to fall over, or someone's not going to bump it over. So when I store mine, I put it in the decline position. So if there was something that just locked it into place down here, I think that would be a great addition. Now, the final thing would be the cost. At time of filming, you can pick this up for about $400 on their website. But I honestly think that that's a little high for the bench, especially considering some of the cheap finishes that you get with it. That being said, as I've done a little bit of market research to see what are the other competitors out there, you kind of have this gap between the really cheapo stuff on Amazon, and then the name brands that have something similar. For example, I looked at Bells of Steel. They have a bench that's very similar to this, but it's gonna cost you about $600. And when I just compare this just as an FID adjustable bench, I would look to compare it against the Rep AB3000. Now they're on version 2, I've got version 1, but that AB3000 version 2 is selling right now for about $330. So I think that this is a little bit of an inflated cost. All right, so honestly, I still love this bench despite that laundry list of criticisms I have with it, just for the simple fact of having the leg developer and being able to incorporate those into my workouts. However, I do think there's a lot of room for improvement in making this an outstanding bench. If ForceUSA were to address some of those, then it would be outstanding. All right, so that does it for my review of the ForceUSA MyBench version 2 with leg developer and preacher curl pad. Let me know in the comments if you've got this, you got something different, you think there's something else out there that's better at a relatively similar price point, and we'll see you next time.